Actually, well, I was gonna do the intro, but I guess we'll wait a couple of minutes for people to trickle in here.
Sounds good.
But yeah, then we can do it.
Announcement hasn't quite gone out yet.
Okay, just making sure that it was. Yeah, we should be good.
Alright, yeah, announcement about to go out. There we go.
Hey, yeah, I'll give it a minute, but yeah, hello, people who are here already. Yeah, we got some ETs in the lobby.
Got some ETs in chat too.
ETs everywhere.
There's so many of them. Uragi already saying the Mappool sucks.
Yeah, first. Yeah, first. Yes. Accurate. Alright, well, anyways, it looks like we're getting some people in here now, so I guess I could do the intro, but, yeah, I don't know, just welcome to the Finals Mappool Showcase, everyone. I am Lethal, commentating with Orca, or also known as Dr. Big.
Dr. Big, yes, hello.
The biggest doctor. And, I don't know, well, the intro for the showcase is always really easy. It's just like, hey, it's the showcase, hi everyone.
Yeah, I think this one's a little special though. I mean, this has kind of had the most hype around it as a pool, right? Coming into finals, we've been hearing stuff one way or the other about difficulty, and I personally haven't seen it yet, so I'm coming to this blind as well, so I'm very hyped for this.
I am, well, our streamer here does know some of the picks, if I recall correctly, but I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who's present currently who is familiar with the whole pool and everything. And I gotta say, the map poolers are all happy with this. We all put a lot of work into this pool, like really, like we busted our asses on this pool straight up, and we think it shows. And hopefully, you all will agree with us. And I'm ready whenever, if you are.
Yep, I'm ready to go for sure. Players, don't be too ruthless on us.
Yeah, and here's our first pick, baby! 12 Little Fragments, 1.05 by Shoegazer. Yeah, and this is going to be our stamina pick, pretty evidently, considering its crushing 5-minute length.
5-minute length on 1.05 rate, too.
Oh, yeah, and, I don't know, it's just a pretty straightforward chart for a lot of it, a lot of pretty... It's just pretty relentless through the whole thing, a lot of jump stream patterns and a couple of more technical patterns in between, and we'll just have to see it once we'll get started here.
Players loading in to the match, yep. Yari's asking if it's the ranked version. I believe it is.
Yeah, it should be the same.
The ranked version just uprated 0.05.
Yes. Yes, okay. We're just making sure, but yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lots of split trails. Both your hands. It just constant action.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, I think a lot of the rolls, they're kind of like, I don't know, they're kind of uncomfortable, honestly, in my opinion, just considering like how much you have to like switch up your wrist rotation kind of to hit them. It can make it really tricky.
Yeah, and it's this stop and start action, right? So you go into these really fast rolls that you can act, you don't want to manip them, so you have to really rush your hands to be able to hit it, and then it holds back and then starts again and then holds back, starts again, right? So it's all about having absolutely insane control throughout the entire 5 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, in the earlier pools, we can't reasonably have like stamina picks in like a group stage pool or anything, but I think, you know, this is kind of akin to some consistency picks you might have seen in earlier pools, considering this does have some strong stamina elements, but you also have to stay extremely consistent, because like you said, you have to keep starting back up and then stopping, and then you just have to really stay on your toes with these patterns.
Mm-hmm. And for these teams, 231 BPM of honestly anything for 5 minutes is going to be challenging.
It's going to be challenging, yeah, for sure. But honestly, I think it's going to play in the favor of a number of the teams that are left. And I think some teams can take full advantage of this pick 100%.
Mm-hmm. This is a point that the teams can earn for sure.
Yeah, honestly, like seeing things like, I don't know, seeing some of the Euphoria scores from semifinals pool, like we were all really surprised to see how well people were doing on Euphoria. And we had this pick in our pool, and we were worried. We were like, oh, this is going to be a little too hard. And then we saw the Euphoria scores, and we were just kind of like, not anymore.
Yeah, and this lays off a little bit on the LNs than Euphoria did, but it definitely takes that and just ramps it up on the Rice, 100%.
Yeah, except for this part, but
Oh.
This is the only real break in the whole thing, actually. And no, but you're definitely right. No, I was just poking fun. Don't worry.
The break, yeah. Then it jumps right back in with that jump shell.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say through the break section, but I'm pretty sure we're just going to be seeing a lot of similar patterns in the upcoming part. And actually, that transition there out of the jump trail into like that little split trail there, that is an evil transition, straight up. I have broken on that transition.
Jack 2 looks like it could trip up some people as well. But yeah, for the most part, getting to like same old definitely has a lot more variability than Euphoria. So a little bit more patterns to grind out.
Yeah, Euphoria was just kind of like, I mean, it was a lot of sustained jump stream, and then the major thing in that chart was definitely the jack section.
Yeah,
but,
jacks.
There's a lot of jump stream and hand stream bursts happening in this chart too, but there's definitely a lot more stuff happening, like with the rolls, and there are some mini jacks, and we even saw a couple of like one-handed jack patterns that you actually have to like, you know, physically try in the jack department as well. Like they feel kind of wrist jacky as well. And this file kind of throws like literally everything except for like, you know, LN at you. So
yeah,
you just got to stay on your toes, like I said.
Yeah, final stamina, it has to challenge the players. And it definitely looks like it's going to do that.
Yeah, and this end section, also no joke at all with these hands. Definitely going to be testing some people. I'd say that end section is maybe the densest part in terms of like streams, considering it's pretty sustained and the rest of the chart has a couple of broken up sections. But I honestly don't think it's going to really make too much of a difference. I think as long as players are in the groove for that last stream section, then it should be no problem.
Yeah, and another thing too is I'm sure some players might have been watching that, maybe thought it didn't look too difficult perhaps, but the patterning really is what's going to drain your stamina. The trills, you know, you're going in between your hands constantly, having to keep that consistent. That's really going to drain it. Even if you can hit the patterns, maybe you're going to get tired by the end of it. That is for sure.
Oh yeah, and I gotta say, it'd be interesting to see, like, in a situation in a match where that's picked like late in a match, you could totally just see players like start to like, I mean, I not like fail out, but like fail out in terms of like consistency, I guess. It's like,
yeah,
if you're not keeping up with it and you're so far into the match already, it can be just brutal to keep up with it.
Yeah, Rice players beware.
Yeah, 100%.
You don't want to be balancing your picks. You don't want your Rice players to hit the hay in the middle of the match.
Yeah, but yeah, that'll be 12 little fragments, and then I guess we'll just get right into the next one here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we'll see some more streams here, some more dense streams. Lowly Fantasy by Whitey on it's an ever so slight down rate, but it's again for the BPM. We're looking for the perfect BPM range for us, so we stopped at 225, and this works right where it is. And I'm sure plenty of you are familiar with this chart, so we can probably just get right into it.
Sounds great.
But yeah, some people in chat saying that this is tricky, and it definitely is. You know, we're not pulling any stops with this stream pick at all, and same with the stamina. It's finals, baby. We gotta go all in.
Late players are going to have to really show up starting now. Just taking a little bit to get into this pick here, but
yeah, it is okay.
It's alright. And this pick, again, isn't really too short for stream. A little bit longer than Yamada, coming in at almost 3 minutes.
Yeah, you do get one break section in this pick, but a lot of this is quite sustained. It's the patterns are nothing like super technical or any of that, but they're definitely kind of demanding in terms of actual physicality. So
yeah,
I think it's gonna throw some fire a lot. It looks like we might be down a player. I think Yuka DC'd.
Oh,
Oh, and yeah, I guess we're just getting into it anyways. No worries.
Run without him. It's a showcase. So.
Give the client. Okay, we will miss the first couple of notes. That's fine though.
Yeah, that's okay.
But, yeah, right off the bat, you're gonna be seeing a lot of pretty general jump stream patterns. These density sections, like it kind of like fluctuates in its density. Like it gets more dense and then it gets less dense, and it just kind of does that over and over. And the less dense parts, I think, are going to be no problem for pretty much like most of the players that would play this in match. But it's more just about focusing on those dense parts and transitioning in and out of the denser parts.
Yeah, and hitting those the two-handed jumps as well, like on the rolls and weird act parts, despite it being jump stream, which may usually be easy to act.
Yeah, and you actually have these bursts here too, which actually, these trip me up a lot. Like, for some reason, breaking up the streams there makes it a lot more tricky for me personally. I wonder if anyone shares that sentiment. But back into the chorus section, and this one's actually not super ramped up right now, but I believe the second half it goes back. Yeah.
Yeah, just very small breaks in between the burst, in between the stream.
Yeah, and then you got some jump jacks here. Nothing severe here at all, but
yeah.
I believe you have one chill section after this stream, and then the rest of it just kind of goes all out.
Yeah, those jump jacks is not really letting you fully rest, keeping your muscles engaged. Then here seems like more of a break.
Yeah, you actually do have some bursts here, though. Yeah, some jump stream bursts, and then yeah, back into the stream.
Yeah, 3 minutes of this is also going to be extremely draining.
But yeah, this section is really quite brutal with all of the split trilly and one-hand trill patterns. I even think, like, in this section, I think some of the jump stream bursts are even kind of, like, uncomfortable to the point where they're, like, tricky. I interrupted you, though. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's okay. I was just going to say, yeah, the 225 BPM trills in these streams, extremely hard to hit.
Yeah, you're going to feel that.
Feel it in the forum, yeah.
100%. But that'll be it for dense streams here, and then yeah, I don't know. We pretty much got everything out of the way in terms of patterning. It's a pretty general stream pick again. We think it's really fun, so we went with it. And
yeah, this pick is certainly gonna let some later game players shine for sure.
Oh yeah, late game players are gonna probably shred that, honestly. Like, even considering how difficult it is, I don't think it's even gonna make a difference.
Yeah, it's really just whether you can handle it or you can't, you know.
Heck yeah. But up next here we'll have our one of our tech picks whenever it gets queued in. And yep, it'll be URA 2027 by Valedict. It's a slight edit. It's a low LN edit. So this chart used to have a lot more LNs and some schlongs that we thought were kind of problematic. So we talked with Valedict and we got those taken care of, and now it's here.
Yeah, especially at
it works perfect
OD
so.
As well at 9 OD.
Oh yeah,
LN I'm sure could be pretty problematic on D2.
100%, and you're gonna feel that OD9 anyways without the LN.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a shame you can't see the background in the little bottom panel. You can only see like the little panel, but I think the background is quite cool. I'm not sure if Valedict's like made it himself or anything, but it definitely looks really nice.
Is it a Tokyo Ghoul reference?
I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Maybe that would make sense.
Yeah.
But anyways, right off the bat, yeah, a lot of kind of like two-hand trilly and like rolly patterns out of the gate, and honestly, it's just about, you know, seeing the little nuances in between the patterns. Like the rolls are so snapped, like they're so specifically snapped that you really have to pay attention to them.
Mm-hmm. And the little sneaky notes here and there are gonna really force you to not manip these. You have to read this and you have to hit it.
Yeah, 100%. You do get a slight moment here to, you know, collect your bearings, but it's really not that much because the second part comes in so intense too.
Yeah, and it lets you earn a little combo back if you maybe missed in the first section as well.
Yeah, and here you start throwing in some more some fun mini jack patterns, and these are honestly quite brutal. These are the big thing to watch out for in the pick, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, wow, that part is so physically demanding.
Those 2 seconds right there, I think, are gonna decide a match, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Or a point, not a match, but
could decide a match.
It could, yeah, a point can decide a match, so you know. But yeah, and then right there again, you see another repetition of that really rough burst, but that's about it. It's a pretty short pick, but definitely packed to the brim with some fun patterns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't expect too many FCs on this. Yeah, that OD9 really causing that PA for these players as well.
Do not expect to see a score like Mucus in that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's messed up.
Oh my gosh, Muka.
It's always fun. It's always fun to just see Muka like slap around anything.
Literally anything we throw at him.
Yeah. But anyways, that'll be it for URA, and then we'll get right into our next pick, which I believe is our first hybrid. Yes, and it'll be Citadel by Eat Rule Blazing.
Eat Rule Blazing.
And to be honest, we had to make some, like, the edits in this were so slight. Like, we had to make edits in this, but if I recall correctly, the edits were just managing a couple of the bursts and a couple of the LNs. But this is our Rice hybrid, and you're going to be seeing a lot of bursty patterns, and some really tricky, I think, just snaps, and that's a lot of what you're going to be seeing. So we'll just get into it whenever the players are ready here. Cool. But yeah, I don't know. I think that this is personally not like a physically demanding pick, but it's one of those picks that's not like, it's not gonna like kill your hands, but trying to act this is like wacky hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and from a Rice LN, I would expect that as well. It's very challenging to act.
Yeah, just honestly, I'm kind of curious to see how some people will react to these bursts once we get into the main section, because the bursts are, I think they're quite unique in their patterning, and I actually, like, I don't see patterning like I see in this chart, like, ever, and I think it's, I think it works great, and I love it, but it could definitely be a pretty polarizing pick.
Yeah, a couple shields earlier with some maybe awkward releases could cause some early act drops as well. We're getting right into the physical section of this.
Yeah, and these bursts into the LNs are exactly what I'm talking about. Like, a lot of these bursts are going to be so tricky for some people.
Mm-hmm.
There's snap.
For the Rice Hybrid, I really like the versatility of being forced to act those bursts, as well as being forced to act these shields and these releases. It's really spanning all of these skill sets.
Oh yeah, and you're not seeing anything like you know, like a Juan Crystal release chart in this pick or anything, but those releases are still nothing to scoff at. Like, while they're not super difficult, you definitely need to pay attention to them.
Yeah, a couple of Shalongs too are maybe gonna trip players up as well.
Yeah, and these bursts are like, you have to like one hand trill on both hands to hit some of these bursts, and it's so tricky.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, there's quite a bit of LN in this pick for a Rice hybrid, but the Rice patterns are definitely what's standing out, I think, in terms of physicality in this pick.
Yeah, this is seeming like a chart that these teams of Rice players are gonna have to really grind out, and like their hybrid players are gonna figure out how to act this, or PA it rather, as well. I think it can come down to combos and then PA. The ending, a lot more chiller. Just a very relaxed ending compared to what was in the rest of the map.
Yeah, and just want to point out real quick, this is 4.4 stars. I know star rating is funny, but damn, that is just actually a clown emoji moment.
That is, yeah, bread.
Everyone knows SR is a dumpster fire, but it's like, oh my god, sometimes you gotta look and be in awe at how wrong it is.
Yep.
But yeah, anyways, I believe with that, we'll be getting into our first LN pick. Yes.
Okay.
And it will be Imprinting by Daniel TH.
Ooh.
And this is gonna be on 1.1 as well. We had to use an uprate for this to make it hard enough, but this is definitely quite a tricky pick.
Mm-hmm.
And this is releases, by the way.
Yeah, and releases coming in at an OD of 8 as well.
Yeah, definitely the standard, but it's honestly, well, for LN, OD8 on releases can even be, like, a little tricky.
Maybe a little challenging.
But yeah, getting right into it here. I can't wait to see how Elza's gonna do on this.
Oh yeah.
She's probably just gonna destroy this whole thing.
Yeah, she had just woken up too, so.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think this is right up her alley. So, anyways,
for breakfast today.
Yes, but right out of the gate here, you already see these releases. You're gonna be seeing a lot of this throughout the chart, like pretty much more of the same. This is a minute 44, so there's not much room for a whole lot of pattern diversity, I guess. But
yeah, coming from someone that doesn't play LN, this just looks impossible to me. This is brutal.
I'm quite LN deficient myself, and it definitely looks very tricky.
Yeah, rather a shorter chart though, 1 minute 44 seconds, or at least shorter compared to the rest of the charts that we've seen in Rice and the hybrid.
Yeah, and this is definitely a bit of a chiller section, but you know, the release is right here. Yeah, these releases, I die in this part every time I play this chart. It's not even a hard part, but it's definitely worth watching out for because those releases will straight up destroy you if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is a battle. This will be a battle to hold combo even, just on these very differing releases too, because going straight from the shorter ones, having to read the longer sections like here. It's a lot about transition.
Yeah, and already done here with this pick pretty much, just heading into the end. But I think this one definitely speaks for itself, considering its length and its patterns. It's a lot, like you could probably, you know, look at a clip of this and get a general idea, like a 15-20 second clip of this chart, and get a general idea of how it's going to play for the whole thing. And also just pointing out, yes, I was correct. Els destroyed that.
Yeah.
Even after just waking up.
Dropping as well. Yeah, it really doesn't let up. It's like you said, you can see any clip of that map and kind of get a gist of it as well. So it'll be complete focus for those 1 minute and 44 seconds from all required.
Yeah, you have to basically just give it your all the whole time. But yeah, anyways, into the next pick here, we'll have our LN wild card, and this will be Dances with Snow Fairies by CRZ Chris Arlene. And this one's gonna have OD7, so we got you there.
More relaxed.
A little bit, but this, honestly, I think this chart, I don't know if it's like physically harder than imprinting, but I definitely do worse on this chart than imprinting.
The technical aspect of it, just challenging all of your LN skills.
Yeah, and I'm full disclosure, this song is a certified banger, and I'm biased to love this chart because of it.
It just makes the chart 10 times better when the song is also a banger.
Oh yeah, of course.
One's Glow. I love One's Glow so much.
I see I see Crystallize in chat. This is an SOL1 reject actually.
Oh.
So yeah, Crystallize, I'm sure pretty entertained to see this here. And actually imprinting was considered for SOL2 as well. So we got 2 SOL LN picks. But yeah, for a lot of us who pulled for SOL, we kind of look at SOL1 rejects and we're like, oh, like we see them and we're like, oh.
Yeah, and I just want to mention how insane that small like inverse part was.
Oh yeah.
Is going to expect a lot of drops.
Yeah, and those bursts too. I gotta say, like this for a wildcard pick has a lot less rights, I think, than some of the previous wildcard picks. Like a lot of this is very LN focused, but those bursts, while having some LNs, it just makes them harder, like literally.
The transition into it.
Yeah.
Sure.
And like the rolls with the like the 4 LNs on the end there. Yeah.
I saw that, yeah.
And then right into this kind of like really dense, like almost inverse section, but well, actually that was inverse for a second.
Small breaks from the inverse, yeah.
Yeah, and actually you get more bursts in between these patterns too. Definitely not letting up at the end here.
Yeah, as soon as you get used to hitting these LN releases, it just throws those bursts at you to keep you on your toes.
Ooh, these jacks, I think are gonna throw someone off. That burst is not that bad, but I could see it tripping someone up too. And then this end section is really probably the hardest part.
Yeah, not a single section there that's honestly easily FCable.
Yeah, wow. Elza Muka making a mockery of this chart too.
Not expecting those kinds of scores in matches. So
yeah, definitely not. But with that,
upper range though.
Yeah, you can see Danny coming in, and I think you know what that means.
Uh-oh. Hype.
We got our first SV pick here. It'll be Pop Up the Bass by Koki Play.
Oh, you better believe it's SV time. Let's go. Jump.
Yeah, and this is actually worth noting at the start here. This is OD9. So have fun with that.
Yeah, also a 3.3 star SV chart. So.
Yeah. This is going to be our reading pick, by the way. Sorry, I didn't mention that.
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes more sense as well. Oh, this song sounds so good.
Yeah, this song's a banger. I'm sure you're going to be trying this at some point after the showcase,
I'm gonna
right?
grind this for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be challenging some of the SV players in this tourney for top scores.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, wow, some people I think are familiar with this and are I may be excited to see it here. But yeah, we all definitely thought this was a really good pick. If I'm honest, I'm pretty sure this has been in the finals sheet, like literally since we started pooling, like since I came in at first. This has been in finals like for a long time. We're just, we've been confident in this pick since we started, basically.
Ooh, and some small fake out teleports here as well, coming in from that probably semi-easily learnable part, right into these huge teleports.
Yeah, and while a lot of this stays a pretty sustainable BPM, you really have to stay on your toes and watch out for when it does decide to change, because that's gonna be the thing to throw you off.
And you're gonna have to get used to these fake outs as well, because the song being so varied and jumpy, as I guess the diff name would suggest, there's gonna be plenty of fake outs here that you'll have to learn.
Oh yeah. I think yeah, I don't know. I saw some people who were like literally listening to some of the SV picks like before they went to sleep and stuff, just like on their phone or whatever to try and know the song better. I just wonder if anyone's gonna do that for this one, because I think knowing the song with this one is like critical. Yeah.
And that is typical for SVs. Knowing the song, you can honestly almost even imagine the SVs if you listen to the song a lot.
Yeah. It gets to a point where, I mean, especially if you play it a lot, it gets to a point maybe where you can even attribute the SVs to the song in your head like after long enough. Well, I know I had to do that with Strange Inventor last year.
Strange Inventor.
Hell yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
But
these long anchors definitely making you stay consistent with this BPM, locking in with the tempo.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see. It's so easy to just like lose your timing with those 100%. You have to stay consistent with the BPM, or you could just drop like 3 200s just like randomly just because you're not paying attention.
Like visual players are going to really have to look out for that, because you can't be looking at these notes here. You have to be listening and making sure you're locked in with music.
Yeah, and then that's pretty much it for this, but coming into the end, you got one more little SV, and then, yeah, that'll be it, and we'll do our little lap around. That'll be pretty much the halfway point for the showcase, and we'll get back into some rice picks here.
If I don't have a single-digit grade on that by the time of matches, then I failed.
Oh, I'm sure you'll have no problem doing that. But yeah, it looks like we're switching back for Brug, and then into the next rice pick, whenever. And it'll be On My Own by Joel, 0.95 rate. I'm sure there are a number of people who are familiar with this as well. And Honestly, this is also definitely a pretty tricky pick. Also sitting at 4.4 stars, just like Citadel. Hilarious.
Yeah. Imagine that.
But this is gonna be our speed stream pick, and 320 is not the BPM for this on 0.95. It is slightly lower. I think it's like what 307, something like that.
Yeah, and if I'm remembering correctly too, a lot of trills, two-hand trills, one-hand trills, a small one-hand trill as well are going to be.
This is trilly as hell.
Yeah, Joel loves having these long trills.
Actually, it might be even lower. I believe the BPM is wrong. I actually think it's somewhere around like 295.
That's what I'm thinking. Is like 290.
It's like 295. I'm pretty sure. I don't know what's up with the BPM, but
it could just be the snapping in the editor.
I'm confused because 1.0 is 310. And this is 320.5. Whatever. But anyways,
what it is.
Right out of the gate, there's like, you got nothing to worry about out of the intro, honestly. If you're playing in finals in the match for this pick, you got nothing to worry about yet. You just got to watch out for the streams.
Still nothing crazy.
But yeah, no, sorry, my bad. I took the 320 as it being the correct BPM, which it is not. So yeah, this is hovering around 295. And once we get into the stream parts, you're going to be seeing a lot of these 1- and 2-hand trills. Absolutely no joke. And yeah, we'll get started here.
Yeah, and so the beginning really just being kind of a ratio battle, and then this part just fighting for your life on these.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how people will keep up on those in terms of ratio, I think, because a lot of people, I think, are capable of FCing those patterns, but
for sure,
it's going to turn into a ratio battle. I know that ratio on speed patterns is really tricky for a lot of people, but that's a pretty short speed stream section. You're going to be seeing a lot more.
Yeah, and so the stream section not lasting too crazy long as well before coming back in with this like slow jump stream. But it really hits like a truck.
Yeah, and then into the next one here. You're going to be seeing, actually, this one is, I believe, twice as long as the first one, and then, if I'm correct, the third chorus section is 3 times as long as the first one.
Yeah, and this stream also having these kind of delayed hand switches mixed with very quick hand switches with these like small trills, forcing you to make sure you're keeping your reading as sharp as possible. Yeah,
and I don't think it would be in any of the players' nature to zone out during those stream patterns or anything, or stop paying attention fully. But if you do, it will eat you alive. Like, that will be your downfall.
You'll find yourself in the 98s very quick. So yeah, and a quarter of the map left. I'm sure we'll have another stream part as well.
Yeah, it's coming up like right now.
Yep, here we go.
Yep. And then yeah, a lot of, you know, more of the same. It's a lot of 1- and 2-hand trills and rolls. Yeah, just honestly, like, I feel like weird saying just read it, forehead, but like, you know, it's like that's gonna be the key with this pick, is you gotta read through all of it.
Gotta read it. Just gotta hit the notes. Come on.
Oh yeah, and then this last section is definitely very much worth watching out for. It gets a lot more like 1-hand and 2-hand trilly.
Yeah, and throwing in a jump or two there as well.
Yeah, and then some more just pretty much axe stuff to close it out.
Yeah,
but
going to the end.
Yeah, it might actually be tricky for some people after that last stream section being so. It's honestly pretty draining.
Yeah, and 4 minutes of that, just that scares me. I'd be terrified to pick that in a match.
Yeah. Anyways, that'll be on my own, and then we'll be getting into our next rice here, one of two that are left, and this will be Passage D by Jin Jin. I'm sure, I don't know, maybe some older school players are familiar with this one, but I don't think this chart is like too old, but still definitely a bit of a classic, I think.
Yeah, and just seeing the artist name Flashbulb should incite some kind of feeling in players.
Yeah, you pretty much know what this is going to be like, and this is another tech pick, yeah, obviously, but I should also mention real quick, we can get started anytime, but we did have to get some slight edits for this as well. There were in this chart, there were 2 1/8 mini jacks at points in the chart, and while they were correct to the music, they are extremely hard to hit, like very unreasonable, so we had to do something about them. I mean, maybe not unreasonable, but unreasonable for the pool we're going for, at least. And especially considering a lot of this chart is super bursty, too. And
oh, yeah.
We'll get a bit of a delay here, but yeah, a lot of these bursts and mini jacks, it's going to be the main bread and butter of this chart. And it doesn't let up, really, like, ever. Passage D is a pretty consistent song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just letting Els there catch up a bit. Yeah, those bursts. Just eyes on those bursts, making sure you're not rushing into them, or making sure you're reading them properly so you don't just miss a whole jump.
Yeah, and even... Yeah, these bursts, like, they get so dense for, like, split seconds at points, and it's honestly jarring to switch in between and out of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and honestly, players, you're meant to miss on this. This is going to be... or you're going to see a lot of misses on this, so it's all about just keeping your accuracy as high as you can possibly have it, making sure you're hitting these jacks really well.
Yeah, it's gonna be a 180 mini jack hellfest basically for a number of players. And then actually you have a couple of LNs here, and then I think the bursts actually get really intense pretty soon here, like a couple of them. But I think we did manage one burst slightly, but other than that, these bursts get really brutal.
Those jacks in the section before, wow. Insanely brutal.
Yeah, right here, yeah.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, those are definitely going to be a choke point as well. But honestly, I think, like you said, I'm confident that players are going to be breaking on this pick. Honestly, this pick is really tricky to sustain through.
An FC would mean so much on this and match.
Oh yeah, an FC would, like, literally, yeah, swing
determine the point
so hard. But yeah, definitely a pick to watch out for. I could see this being ban bait, honestly, too.
Mm-hmm.
Against some of the stronger Rice teams. This is maybe a really easy ban, but that'll be it for our tech picks. And then we have one more Rice pick, and it's going to be our Jack pick. And it'll be Lost Memory. It's I cannot actually give you a BPM of the Jacks specifically. Okay. I don't know off the top of my head. It might just be 124 or 123.5.
Yeah. Lost Memory, I believe, was used in the Quaver tournament as well.
Oh yeah,
a while ago. And
well, it's definitely very good.
Nothing to scoff at.
Yeah. This pick is a lot more focused on density, but it's I don't know. We really loved this pick. I especially, I thought this pick worked perfectly. And well, except for there was one thing we had to change. We cut out like the first minute or so because it was just like nothing. It's just going to be free act, and it's not really reasonable. Like literally none of it was challenging. And then there were some long jacks leading up to the chorus sections that were pretty like unreasonable, I'd say.
Some patterns maybe reminiscent of Lost Dedicated or other popular Jack maps, I suppose. So definitely very chokeable. I remember if you're missing on this, then it's gonna be rough to kind of get back into the rhythm as well.
Oh yeah. Honestly, like you can see a number of people just like breaking in the middle of jacks and jack picks, but like just breaking one time and then continuing. But I think it's quite easy with some of the anchors in this to get pretty tripped up and like, you know, lose a couple of notes, which would actually be like a super major hit in a match. So you really got to watch out here.
Yep.
And especially considering like the skill of some jack players in this tournament and like the skill of a lot of jack players in terms of accuracy and stuff, you really got to be on your best with this.
There are some crazy jack mains in this tournament. So definitely contradictory from the last pick. FCable for some of these really insane jack players, and then not so much for these other players that maybe aren't as strong in jacks.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to, well, oh goodness, here. This is...
struggling. Struggling.
I wouldn't be surprised to see even a couple of like SSs in match, considering like some people are just totally cracked at jacks.
Yeah, and that's the nature of jacks too as well.
Yeah,
So
this is
surprised.
this is a Boncho moment, by the way. Don't worry too much about this. We'll get situated here eventually.
We have our computer wizards working on it right now.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Well, I mean, looking at it, ODM 9 for a jack pick doesn't seem like it's going to throw people off too much. So, nothing really to worry about there. It could maybe cause a grate or two, possibly.
Oh.
Seems like we're getting into it. Hopefully the players didn't rush ahead of us too much.
Hey, I think we got it. We'll just...
DC.
All right, we'll see some funny combo from Yuka, but yeah, with this pick, it gets right into it. We had to chop out that easy part in the beginning. It was not. It was there was no way we could keep it, so it goes right into the first hard part here.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely very tricky. The main thing, like, the density is nothing like you know, it's not like break, but it's like. There are definitely some quads and some hands that transition in and out of each other. Those are going to be the main thing to watch out for, because the jump jacks are probably not going to be tripping too many people up.
Yeah, and teams are going to want their jack carries to make sure they're solid on this, because it's going to look towards maybe the top couple players from the teams who have these insane scores, while some of the other players might not be able to handle it and have these drops every once in a while. And because it's very consistent too as well, if I'm remembering correctly. So on the long jack parts, so drops are going to be often.
Actually, yeah, there was like one long jack part like that. Yeah, I did mention, but you can see how we edited it because it does show up right after this little break section. We basically just changed it. Like it's a lot more simplistic. See?
Yeah. Which I honestly like better for this as well. For this
yeah. And then into the second part, I actually think it gets like slightly denser.
It does. Not being so many singles.
Yeah. So yeah, through this end part, it's just you gotta sustain.
Mm-hmm. Gotta keep your hands moving for sure on this.
Yeah, it speaks for itself 100%.
Wow,
the quads at the end get
quad
brutal.
Part right at the end too. That is gonna be a roadblock for a lot of players on this.
Anyone who's struggling physically on this is probably going to that quad section might be the bane of their existence.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't have 2 or 3 players that can handle this, you might have to ban it if you're going up a team that can. because this would be insanely challenging.
You just see Mute go with 1 to 100 ratio. Get out of here.
Casual, something slight for him.
That's actually nonsense.
That's so funny.
Anyways.
Expect that though from players that can handle it. If they can, it's nothing, no tricky like 1-6 stuff. Like you can ratio this if you can keep up.
Yeah, like the patterns are dense, but the timing itself is like about as basic as it gets. So it's like it's dependent on the player. But anyways, that'll be our Jack pick, and then we'll be getting into our LN hybrid here now, which is actually my favorite pick of the pool. And this is going to be Summer by Myzaterion. And we did have to edit the first chorus section a bit to make it fit our tournament a little bit better, because it was straight up too hard. We had to fix it. It was way harder than the rest of the chart. But in its current state, we think it works great.
Yeah, knowing Zach, this is going to be a banger as well. And with an LN hybrid, OD7 is going to be just right up players' alleys. Nothing insane.
Mm-hmm. It's because of the length. We had even if it was OD8, we probably would have had to edit it down a little anyways. It's really long, and the patterns they were way too hard in the first chorus, but we had to nerf them. But they're still definitely not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right out of the gate, you got a couple of mini jacks.
Yeah, that cold opener it could be kind of challenging, especially knowing that Osu loves to have that little stutter on the start.
Oh my god. Dude, how is that still in the game?
It's so frustrating. It's in every mode too. It's because
there are so this game has been out for 14 years and it has so many damn problems.
Fixed in laser trademark.
Yeah, dude, don't worry. It'll be fixed in laser when I can live until I'm 150.
Yeah,
in the future,
coming out when I'm
dystopian future,
full-time job. Don't have time to play Osu, sad.
But yeah, there's not much to say out of the intro. A lot of it is pretty general. There were some rice patterns too. Pretty varied out of the intro, but once we get into the first chorus, you're going to be seeing a lot more of the trickier LN stuff.
Small stuff following vocals with those bursts coming into this section before.
Yeah, right here you're going to be seeing some 3-column fun time.
Yeah. Love your left hand.
Yeah.
All right, if you want to play with Mirror.
And then into the first chorus, it adds these mini jacks in, which we straight up had to nerf a lot of this. A lot of these bursts were you can see how fast they get in the hardest parts of the burst. There are chunks that are taken out. There were sections that were that fast through the whole thing, and we had to tone it down a little.
Yeah, it may be LN biased, but this is still a hybrid. You are still gonna have to be confident on Rice here to be able to really get a score that would be competitive.
Yeah, and these mini jacks into the LN are really, I think, gonna be a main thing for a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people are super practiced on stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you have some straight inverse, yeah.
Sure, for some players that won't be too difficult, and for others it might be 3 or more drops.
Yeah, you get another break section here, but the second chorus bit is also it's going to be very tricky as well. It's definitely a lot different than the first one, but it focuses a bit more on density here. You also got some fun releases in between some rice as well.
Yeah, this last quarter definitely going to be where the points decided. Making sure you can combo through this.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the end of the second chorus section, I guess, but it's like, it's still just not holding back with these patterns, you know, don't hold back.
Yeah, the music's dying down, but the patterns really are not.
Yeah, it is now, luckily, for I guess, players in the pool, but
Yeah.
you know, still a couple of things to watch out for in the end. You know, you can't just like, you can't rest your shoulders entirely yet, but you know, nothing gonna be super bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be, I think that first chorus is still the hardest part of the file personally, so I'd look out for that myself.
Yeah, the chorus definitely a challenging combo game on these players, and just at game in general, dropping hundreds and 50s, I'm sure, as well.
Oh, yeah.
The awkward releases with Rice Burst.
Yeah, and honestly, dude, if players actually end up getting consistent FCs on this and stuff, like I'm not sure what it's going to end up looking like, but you know, if players break in that first chorus and then other players are able to hold through it, like on the other team, it's going to decide the point. Like maybe, like it's like a good chance that it would. It's really critical, I think. But that'll be it for our hybrids. So we've got one LN up next, which is coming whenever, and then yep, here it is. It is our density pick, and it is Phoenix by Mystic Eyes, and then we will have one more SV pick after this, our Memo SV.
Yes.
Yeah, Poggers for Orca. And then we'll have our tiebreaker. But right into this here, we have another LN pick being OD7. Definitely warranted here, considering this is definitely quite physically demanding.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like I've been saying it so often too with these maps being finals pool, is just they're so difficult. They're so insanely difficult to just be able to hit, let alone ratio or accuracy. So, and it just carries out through the whole thing. So we're gonna need these players to step up for these, even more so than last pool, where maybe some players had just started to feel the physical demands of the maps. This is just ramping that up to a whole nother level.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I gotta say, I definitely mirror a couple of the poolers in chat, the other poolers who are just saying, good luck not column locking on this.
Oh no. My heart goes out to the LN players.
Oh yeah, and right into it here. It's just some pretty general jump streams, and then you got patterns like that.
You could give me 100 years and I would never be able to SS that split trill like release part. Oh my gosh.
I've spent 100 years trying to SS this section.
I can't do it. I'm not capable. I don't have the genetics.
Yeah, the noodle genetics.
Yeah.
But it's just a lot of it is very it's so density focused. It's like this is a very pure density chart. Like there are breaks and stuff. Like there are actually literally breaks in the chart. There's actually the second one, but a lot of it is just raw density. There's really not much else to it. It's jump stream, inverse shields, all that good stuff, and it's a gauntlet, honestly.
Small build up here. Going into the next dense part, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and Lurk in chat saying it's just the warm up for the rest of the chart, and you can kind of see that here. It's actually getting denser.
Yeah, these jump trill LNs go straight into the meat and potatoes of this. Wow.
Yeah, and I gotta say, honestly, patterns like this without the LN, like just the raw jump stream, those patterns are patterns you could be seeing in like literally a group stage pool for a tournament like this. Just if it was just Rice, like if it was just 180 BPM Rice jump stream, and you're seeing it with LN density added to it in finals. It's not even grand finals yet. And this, I don't know, just this pick I think is really worth watching out for. It's so tricky.
Yeah, and another thing, it's the map just it's close to that inverse that some players might be really comfortable with, but it's just not quite there. So it's gonna trip up players that maybe used to just, you know, releasing them instantly pressing again. It's gonna really force you to have that insane control.
Yeah, dude, this. Oh my, this is so hard. Like, I got nothing else to say. This is so hard. And it doesn't stop yet either. It's still going. Yeah, and we actually do get some more of the straight inverse, so actually that could help people, which is hilarious, honestly.
Can we get some Fs in the chat for our showcase players that have to play 4 minutes of this?
Yeah, this chart is honestly, this is the most relentless chart in the pool to me, being someone who doesn't play LN. Not sure for someone who's more all-rounded, but it's so tricky regardless. Yeah, it's hard as hell, and it doesn't stop. You just, after that first section, like, it's so funny. That first quarter of the chart is quite literally just a warm-up for all of that.
Yeah, challenging all the way up into the very end.
Yeah, for sure. And then I guess you know, put this one out of your mind. We got the memo coming up.
I'm glad you picked polyrhythm for this.
Don't say that. No, I'm kidding around. We actually picked it. No, I'm just okay. All right, stop. No, I'm sorry. Mestro, put up the actual SV pick before I get myself in trouble.
Yeah, polyrhythm.
Got Door into Summer here by Lusty Platypus.
I want to read that Discord chat. The background is.
Yeah, full disclosure, I have not seen this chart. I looked at the rest of the pool, and then we were just kind of set on this. So I did not take a super close look at this.
You guys couldn't see me, but I just made the nastiest stank face when that drop came in. Oh my god, that sounded so cool. I had to take a second. Oh my god.
Dude.
Dude, SV picks up the best music. Just flat out. Oh
wait, okay. I thought you were saying the drop was bad.
No,
okay.
Okay,
yeah, okay. I got you. All right.
No stank face.
It's funny either way. Oh, you got Potassium F in a chat in the background. That's what it is. They're discussing what the background for the chart's gonna be.
Good shot this combo making the background. Wow. Incredible.
God bless. Oh, Muka missing the first note.
Yeah.
But yeah, right out of the gate, some epic slow jam.
Yep, just a normal intro here.
Oh yeah, normal intro, don't worry. Oh, yeah, normal intro. Big hit there on that LN, because they covered the whole screen, but it was a really short LN, so you're gonna have to kind of figure out where that release ends there. Oh yeah, dude, wow, this just straight up looks like it's trying to troll you with a lot of these stutters.
Yeah. Yeah, and these deceptive LN lengths as well.
Oh, there were even some invis notes there.
Mm-hmm. Some very challenging, like 5 times or whatever it is, singles that you just have to know where they are to be able to hit them.
Yeah, and then you see the song picking up here, and it's actually, I guess it gets a lot more dense in the second bit here. I guess the last third at this point. This is a very short pick. Again with those LNs, dude.
Yep, just some classic SB memo stuff. Just get your plays in on this, you know? Get your 30, 40 plays in. Mess with the editor. Yeah, with it only being about 2 minutes, yeah, having these incredibly difficult LN release SBs mixed with this rhythms that really aren't sight readable. It's going to be incredibly challenging and time consuming for these players to learn this.
Yeah, and that's just kind of how it goes with SVs a lot of the time. It's just like when you get to finals, grand finals, the SVs are going to just be like, I guess, like up for debate in terms of like the actual matches that take place, because a lot of teams are just gonna ban them. So it's you have to kind of have this internal battle with yourself. It's like, well, I need to practice the SVs anyways, but they're just gonna ban it anyways, so it feels bad. But if they don't ban it and I don't practice it, then we're screwed.
Yeah.
It's like it's a conundrum kind of.
Yeah. Also, Danny ET score.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Great. Wow.
But yeah, with that, we'll be getting into our finals tiebreaker here, which is gonna be Strike of the Mizeterion 2 in the pool. So we got Summer and from Mizeterion, then we've got Azisai, I think that's how it's pronounced, and it's a Camellia song, but there's another artist on it, so that's cool.
Yeah, not quite just Camellia tiebreaker. Believing this clocks in at the longest map in the pool so far at 5:30.
Yes, 100% yes.
Barely beating out Euphoria, I believe.
I actually think, let me double check something here. This might be the same star rating as the semis tiebreaker.
Yeah, 5.2. It was about 5.1, 5.2 last time. It's a little extra.
Okay, I'm mistaken, but yes, that I thought they were exactly the same for a second, so my bad. I thought that would have been funny. But without actually getting into the chart here, there's not much to talk about. There's a lot to unpack here, so once it gets going here, we'll actually get into the meat of the chart.
And for tiebreakers, I like just listening to it first and just mentally preparing myself to just get absolutely annihilated by it. So I'm ready for that to happen soon.
Yeah, tiebreaker songs always have a tendency, like, even if the song is not necessarily tense, it makes it tense just by being like, that's the pick. It's like if you go to tiebreaker, if you go to tiebreaker, like, this is what you're going to be hearing, and it's going to be tense no matter what. And it's just like, it gets pretty nervous.
Too well.
Yeah, definitely. But out of the gate here, you're seeing some the LNs are not challenging, but trying to hold on to them in between these tricky rice patterns is going to be the main thing.
The rice maybe forcing you to focus on it and then drop those LNs. For sure.
Yeah, and then right into some bursts here. These bursts are going to be very tricky.
Oh my god. Wow.
Yeah, and honestly, some of these bursts, like throwback to Arcology on Permafrost, a lot of the bursts are honestly like pretty similar, I'd say, like in terms of structure.
Yeah, just more physically demanding. Just another layer on top of those Arcology patterns.
Oh yeah, and then you got some jump jacks here, which I think is also, like I said, this chart kind of throws everything at you, so it's kind of like each player is going to have their own little hell section,
Uh-huh. Yeah, and if you're going into tiebreaker during a match, then this is one that you're going to want to practice. If you're expecting to go into a close match, you're going to want to grind this. Because these patterns are so difficult. You're going to want to know what you're going into.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. I think it's tricky to kind of like find a happy medium with practicing a pool like this. If you're in a position where you think you're going to go to tiebreaker, it's like...
You don't want to mind block it.
You don't want to mind block it. And also, I think a lot of players in the 4-digit format, they might actually find a pick like this physically demanding, not only because of how hard it is, but because of the length. Playing this multiple times in a row could like literally like shred a player's hands.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, that
burst is so tricky.
That just straight up looked like the most physically like rice demanding pattern I've seen in the pool. So that was so tricky.
My God. Yeah, and then some more. Oh, those like they're not even like they're like pseudo jump streams. I don't even know how to describe them. They're like it's got a jump and then like a speed burst kind of deal, and then it's like it is technically jump stream, but like God, it's so nuanced. It's hard to even call it anything. It's just dumpy and really, really hard to keep on playing.
Yeah, rivaling 2027, the tech pick, one of the tech picks for those bursts, those physical bursts, honestly being just even way longer makes it just so much more harder.
Yeah, and dude, we're only 2/3 of the way through this. Like, we still got a hell of a lot left in this chart.
Lots of map to go. Yeah, players are just going to be holding on for dear life throughout the majority of this chart.
Ooh, this inverse section.
Wow, that's...
It's just going, dude.
It's...
Damn.
I don't see a single player being able to FC up to here.
And then you got some fun jacks right here.
Wow.
Into a burst.
Yeah.
That's going to be it. Yeah. I said each player is going to have their little hell section. That's going to be the hell section for all players.
That jack into that burst. Yeah, 162 BPM just... Even for these insanely ET jack players, like, that's going to be challenging for them even. It's going to be challenging for everyone.
Yeah, and it's really hard to try and find people who are like super good at like all of the patterns you're gonna find in a tiebreaker, like being so well rounded that you can like play this. So I think we're gonna even like in matches, I'm curious to see what the lineups are gonna look like. You know, we could be seeing people that you'd like never expect who just like, you know, feel better maybe at some parts in this than other players. Like,
yeah, holding longer combos, because it'll be about playing that combo game. Because the challenging elements really don't come in till most of the way through as well, especially that inverse part. But the inverse part kind of comes in and it goes away after a bit. I always say that.
Oh, that inverse burst.
Wow. But yeah,
oh my God.
Game.
Yo, okay, that was just mean at the end.
Yeah, that was disrespectful. Wow.
Damn. But yeah, definitely. I just gotta say, full disclosure, with this pool, we're pretty satisfied with it as poolers. We were quite happy with all the picks, and we just sincerely hope that all of you guys will enjoy it as well. And yes, the pool is quite tricky, but hopefully it doesn't take away from your enjoyment. And yeah, good luck to everyone who's playing next weekend. Definitely good luck with some of these picks, for sure.
Yeah. Get your late game players on board. Get them grinding. This is gonna be such an interesting finals.
Oh yeah, if you're this far in the tournament and you're not grinding it out already, like if you're this far in the tournament and you're not grinding it out pretty quickly after, you know, you're gonna be at a disadvantage. So
you're gonna feel the pain on these.
Get on that.
100%.
But
right,
yeah, I think that's about it from us. Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for commentating with me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. It was really fun. This Mappool just looks so hyped, so I'm glad to grind it alongside these players as well, honestly.
Yeah. Have fun with the SV picks, dude.
I will. You'll be seeing them in scores, so.
Hell yeah. So yeah, I guess keep an eye on that, and yeah, keep an eye on the announcements channel. We'll have the pool listed and stuff as soon as we can. And yeah, just thank you everyone for watching and enjoy the pool and all that. I've been Lethal with the Orca, and thank you.
Yep, see you guys.